Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
Right.
And everything. You have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
No way. What grade?
That one at the go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are top.
Welcome back everyone and welcome to All In, All United. Nico, plain and simple. Right, JP, fellas, what going on? What going on? The dress rehearsal before what you would call a season salvaging Europa League final ends in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
And another defeat at that, right? To the point where, I mean, and we just say it here, it has become very numbing, but worrying at the same time, right? Because it's like we're just getting worse, right? Like fellas, where the progress, right? I mean, and go back to the past couple seasons. When was the last time we actually end the season on a high or end the season on a positive? You know, it has always been a real, frustration kind of vibe, always down at the end of the last couple seasons, as long as I can remember. And an interesting one for the books. Manchester United will end this Premier League season without winning back-to-back games, and this for the first time ever in the competition. What is going on? This is Olia. I want Amorim to work. I'm not there yet with he, but this thing is crazy. It is almost as though if Amorim do like, if he don't bang next season, he had to lose his work. He had to come out with a bang next season, because you see this level of nonsense we had to endure. It wouldn't make sense if we wallow in mid-table, still playing suspect football, still getting overrun, still struggling to beat teams, still can't score goals. If that is our situation next season, then it makes sense. Amorim had to walk. He can't even get till December.
So we ended up somewhere 16th or 17th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most likely, right? So you think we're gonna go from 16th or 17th to the top 4?
No, but the point I'm making,
Uh-huh.
right? Because you don't start everybody start on zero, right? So I ain't talking about the end result. I'm talking about during the course of the season, we're not supposed to be sitting down with one game after 4, one win after 4 games, and we struggle to win that one game, and that one game we win against a promoted team, and against the Fulhams and the Forests, we struggling to beat them teams. That's the point I'm making.
So to comfortably beat them teams, right? That means we're gonna be somewhere around the top 4. You know? I just saying top 5.
No,
top
what's
6,
saying?
I do not think we're going from where we are to even a top 6.
No, but you watching the end of next season. I know what I'm saying. I am saying, let me just say, the first 2 months in the league.
Right, the first 2 months.
Right?
Okay.
The first 2 months, we cannot be sitting down in 16th, even though we're not top 10. We had to be in and around 6th in terms of results.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Nico, if I never see a fixture that have you playing City, Liverpool, Arsenal in the first 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
So obviously, we will play some promoted teams. We might play some more mid-table teams. We might have 1 or 2 games against the top 6. But what I'm saying is, in those games,
we have a Crystal Palace somewhere inside there.
Yeah. Right? So what I'm saying is, in those games,
and then we're gonna hit to the reality again.
No, but the point is, if I could see some semblance of progress and improvement, or rather, if I don't see that, then it's not such a time for Amorim.
Yeah. No, I tell you, if it wasn't for Ten Hag, right now we're relegated. If it wasn't for the points on that Ten Hag, right now we would have been fighting down to the last day to save this season. Or
I'm crazy by
Oh, I would have had to go already.
Yeah.
I know early when in JP, JP used to say, right? He said, if it is you come here, you have to be able to change your style a little bit to suit what you have. Otherwise, the road you're going down is where we are right now. You know, and JP used to say, JP used to say, he had to be able to tweak his style a little bit to suit the players we have. Otherwise, you know, it's gonna be nice. Actually, it's not nice.
Yeah. So let me get some because I want to get straight into it, guys. Right? And Chef, welcome, buddy. Right? So since Amorim started to get serious about the Europa League, right? Every Premier League game, he started to change up the teams a little bit, to keep players fresh, to kind of avoid injuries and them kind of thing, right? And today, which I refer to as the dress rehearsal, we were more or less full strength. And look at
I find the West Ham game, the lineup wasn't bad either.
No, but
with Casemiro maybe.
No, but closer to what looking like Amorim's first team. Yeah, I think today was the closest, right? But even with that, closest to full strength, the team had little attacking threat, right? The team couldn't bring the ball up from the back earlier, right? So, JP, my question is it concerning now that this is how a full strength United team playing 5 days before a final?
You see, the thing is, right? Somehow these players just wake up in the morning of the Europa League and be different players. Because what we see today, I'm sure it's not what we're gonna see Wednesday. It's concerning to me overall as in terms of bigger picture. But for the Europa League final, I tell you now, we're going to see a different team now because these players only know to turn up when they need to turn up, and they selectively choose when to play apparently. So I be honest with you, I'm not going to be surprised that they play better against Spurs on Wednesday because they're choosing when they want to play better football. And so honestly, that's something I hate because look at the position that Tabas in right now in the league.
Yeah. Simeon?
I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game, but I feel like I don't have to at this point. I mean, it really feel like you kind of see the same thing. You look at the goal they score. It's familiar. You look at we talk about Onana. He thinks he be doing. It just talk about Ahmad. As skillful as he is, he kind of falls into the same. Kind of doing the same thing. It's like I feel like we've seen this thing already. I think players have been injured, but when you go back, even when they were before, it's like you realize, hey, even though they were good before, a lot of times they were doing nonsense. They're doing the same nonsense. So, we haven't learned a lot of lessons. This team, these players, they haven't learned the lessons that have cost us for all during the season. And it's concerning. I mean, you try to look forward to Europa, but when you see that those performances, and yeah, they might turn up, but as a coach, you want to see habits. You want to see good habits all the time, not just when it's time to, play a final. And for us to be putting out these performances, time and time again, it's disheartening. I mean, you talk about next season. He got to rebuild this. I mean, this team need a whole 7-8 players just to start to think about being in top 10. I mean, you look at who's our best? But I mean, you have Bruno up there. Bruno I mean, those starting. Yeah, I mean, you have Bruno up there. You had, Ahmad up there, and you figure something will happen, right? Dicey plan to play Ahmad up front in final. Ahmad go do a madness, and and we go go up in the finals. But you look at Ahmad and like, we in passing like when we supposed to pass. We in nothing today really give me confidence for next week. That's all I'm gonna say. And Tottenham, as bad as they are, I think they can beat us with their second string.
Nico?
No, it's true, boy. It's so much to say, boy. I understand both sides, and I agree with both sides that this team could tune up, and I agree that Tottenham could beat this side. So that's to tell you how shaky this team is, and it's real. It's real disheartening, to see these performances now. It's really, really, really disheartening. And you knew that all Chelsea had to do today was turn it up a little bit and they would have scored. Because we were just going through the motions. And like it's whatever. And I know if just had one moment and Chelsea would have scored another beat. I think the move with Maguire today with the offside goal, that was a well-taken finish, a striker's finish. But again, playing a man short, which I'm talking about our striker, Højlund, that doesn't fill you with confidence going into any game. Because again today, you saw that he's not good enough. So, and that's what I can understand. And I can't even say he will show up in the final either. No. Somebody else might show up around him. But the performance today from the striker number 9 for Manchester United is not good enough for you. It's not good enough. And we as Simeon saying, we had to be spending at least 8 players to even make the top 10. That's how terrible this team is.
Yeah, Chef. We're talking about this was practically our strongest 11 that get put out today, bar one or two players, right?
It was.
Yeah, right. And I'm talking about players available. Huh? We talk the only change really was Ugarte and
we might have a Euro. We might have a Euro for.
Sure. We are not going with Euro. We don't know what going with Euro.
We have a strong 11.
by the standards set by Manchester United this season. Right.
We're throwing that word strong out wild boy, but all right, fair enough. I get what you said.
But you get the point, right? Nice. But do you think these players because when they consider we strongest 11 and that's the kind of performance that happened today, you think they're focused and their head already in the final and like they don't lock off from the Premier League. So I mean, I try to figure out how to justify the performance levels now. What do you think?
But were you trying to justify the shit all season? We at the end of the season, you feel like we improve? Boy, them like there was any final since the first week of the season. Like them had any final since then. Boy, them is shit. It had no way to justify it. It's as simple as that. There is shit, and there was shit whole season. It's just Europa have more shit in it. So we rise to the top of it. But that is all it is. And in the finals is a battle of the two of the shittiest top teams in England. So anything, the one thing we know for sure is that it's going to have a winner. We don't know who, because I watched Tottenham play today. Hey, Tottenham is real shit, Oh God, them shitty boy. Jesus Christ. And I said to myself, you know what? them go play we Wednesday and walk all over it. Because I going to say this, and men might want to argue with me, but I find player for player, Tottenham better than us. In my opinion. Player for player, they are better. If you put their starting 11, their strongest 11, next to our strongest 11, I find Tottenham better. You know what it is? I find Tottenham have smarter players. We have some real dotish players, you know. Jesus Christ! And then we number 9. Oh yeah. I saw a thing today. Is this Manchester worst number 9 ever? That man make me miss Weghorst, you know.
Yeah. We talk about that. Me and you talk about that. Weghorst was class, boy. Weghorst is to help the team, boy. Weghorst is to help this team, boy.
I watch a player, and there's a player we see holds his back to the defender, the ball coming to him. Dude, just screen off, trap your ball now. That's all.
Yeah.
Screen, trap your ball. That he can't do it, you know. I watch Ahmad getting that ball on the wing with less room because he on the byline with less room, and he's a smaller fella, screening the man to the byline, collecting the ball with the foot here, and trapping and turning, and he's doing it the whole game. So that much you can do, boy.
You see,
that much you can do.
The thing about it, and we keep saying it time and time again about Hoyland. Hoyland too focused on the duels. Sometimes the ball coming to Hoyland, and Hoyland even watching the ball, he watching the defender. You understand? And boy, oh boy, that man is crap, boy.
Me Lionel tell you, Hoyland make me don't want no. Hoyland was my final straw when it comes to Italy, you know. You see, between Hoyland and Onana, I prefer we shop in Barrackpore than shop in Italy, you know. Yeah, boy. It's a bag of shit snakes we just buy in the weekend in Italy, boy. One set of Ratans player, boy.
I know it's not one of Reem's favorite player, Dogu. And next time.
But Dogu. The jury's still a little bit out on Dogu. But again, where we get him?
For me too. Some men
with the eye
test, then you don't feel
I ain't gonna kill him. I ain't gonna kill him yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I am always the one that's give. I just say no matter what, I give a man an opinion. A season. I just give a coach a season. I just give a player a season before I kill you off.
All right. So here is my thing on that, right, Chef? I tell Nico, I say I'm not writing off Dogu. But what I'm saying is if this Dogu fella is who we're gonna depend on, right, to move up and up, then we're in trouble, right? Because listen to me, it ought to take me a season to see some fundamentals, right? To see how you just think your IQ levels, right? Do I think he's a decent player? Yes. Was he the worst player on the pitch today? No. But I have seen enough since he's here to tell you that if we want to really progress as a team and compete with the likes of City and Liverpool and all those teams, we have to do better than Dogu. All right? I don't mind, as I told you before, you see the likes of Garnacho and Dogu, them fellas could come off the bench, them fellas could play cup games, them fellas could play ever so often. But to tell me that this man is a starter and a mainstay in my team, are you looking to make me get grey here? Right? And I'm not going through that. Them fellas not at the standard. I watching Dogu long enough. Nobody can pull over my eye. I watching football long enough, and I see enough to know that I don't need a whole next season to tell me that Dogu not ready for the starting level. All right. Secondly,
you prefer Shaw?
No, I prefer we go and get somebody.
Okay. No. I just talking based on who they are right now.
Yeah, I prefer we get. No, I mean, I put my hand up. We are nothing else, so we have to deal with Dogu for the next 2 games, right? But we're talking about next season where we want to, really make a push to be better. Dogu can't be there still. When I mean, as a starting option, regular. All right. Dwayne Honoré on the inside. Good night. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
man.
hey, Dwayne. Good night, brother.
And Dwayne Catchini Jones on the Barrackport talk. We chef you real shopping this week about Barrackport, yes. Hey. So Amorim made a comment as we on Hoyland. I want to just bring a comment that Amorim make on Hoyland here, right? And I don't know if to get upset with Amorim. I don't know if to say Amorim out or to just read between the lines, right? Now, after that kind of performance, obviously you'll get asked about Hoyland. So you say he fights for every ball. He loses a lot of duels, wins some duels. He needs to improve the connections, but he's improving, so I'm really happy with
What's he
him.
improving? What's he improving on?
No, Honor, before we go down this road, can I just say one thing though? I know JP and Reem ready to go off on that. But yet let me, Mr. Unreasonable, be the voice of reason for one brief second. Next week Wednesday is our final. They ask him a question. He can't come 3 days before a final and embarrass the player who he couldn't start. Just understand what he's saying, Ollie. He was asked a question. He has to answer the question. But he can't embarrass the man. The man, his Rasmus done, he confidence done in the lottery. You can't make it go down in Hades. So yeah. So that's what I would put that tongue to.
Right.
Amorim, no, he's shit, but he's the best of the shit we have available right now. So I can't kick him down more. That's all that is to me. That's just a manager playing the politics.
Yeah, I agree with Chef because when Maguire won the game, that was Leon. I think it was the Leon game when Maguire won the game. Amorim said that is the only player who we have could play up top like that. And to me, that is, he went and play, less than basic centre forward role. So if Amorim could say Maguire is the only player who could do that, then we're telling him, then he's telling me, oh, not good enough.
JP?
So here what I have to say, right? Brentford, Visa, Mbemo, and the other for Shada. Any of them are strikers? Any of them are centre forwards on that team?
Nope.
Probably just Visa.
What size not centre forward?
No.
Visa.
He's
not centre forward, so he is.
Nope. He's a winger. He started.
Are you sure?
When
Yeah,
Tony,
positive. Yeah.
When Tony get injured, he started to play that position, and then the striker that by to replace Tony was injured whole season, so he remained in that position. And combined, he and Mbemo had how much goals this season? West Ham, a team that was worse than us and is better than us right now. Jared Bowen is who playing the striker, right? And Jared Bowen and Kudus was playing striker at a point in time, because what Graham Potter doing, he experimented with other players because the strikers he have is trash. But Ruben Amorim persists with Rasmus Hoyland because he's the only recognized striker in the team. That don't make sense, earlier. You had to think outside the box. No, watch me. It might sound crazy, you know.
No, it's good. No. It's not sounding crazy at all. It's making sense.
How it goes sound crazy when we've been saying play with a false nine, play with a false nine.
Yeah, because he's rubbish. He's total rubbish.
So you have to think outside the box. So that's why, Chef, and I understand what you're saying, Chef, but I can't agree with that. Because
I can't embarrass him man before finals.
No, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is not today Hoyland is trash. Hoyland is trash whole season. And we ain't trying nothing. We didn't try nothing different. We persist with Hoyland game after game after game after game.
Yeah.
Without trying something different. He throwing Zirkzee ever so often. And we know there's no Zirkzee position. But
I'm not going to talk about that.
I can't disagree in terms of that what JP just said for the season in terms of But I'm gonna say he wasn't there for the whole season, but for the half season, he has been there. We
I
cannot try.
remember
We cannot try.
we can
We
take
have
half, eh? I'm going to get 3/4 season, huh? He can get half a season. We get three
three
quarters
quarter
season.
season. Yeah, we could try a midfield. I was trying one of our the attacking but then again, how much attacking midfielders we had available?
Why I
Watchman.
saying, you see,
Yeah,
Amarin will lasting long next season, earlier.
Yeah, I don't think so. Either.
No. And he was frustrating me. He was frustrating me with Amarin. You see that move he make with Zertsky? It makes no
Yeah.
sense.
What is
Because
that?
Yeah.
Zertsky was playing in the 10. That was the best player we had. And you know what you do after the
Yes.
international break? You're
You put him up as
forcing
a
him to
striker.
play as a striker
Yeah.
where he's unable to show his true
Exactly.
qualities and his true ability. And you're forcing him to play and taking away so much from the game, trying to force him in a position where all his attributes, you cannot utilize it. So
And
how
was
we
he-
could see that, and Amarin can see that. And then that could be
was he
plan next
coincidence,
season when he
Nico?
fit. Say-
Where's
say
the
it again?
coincidence, Nico? Since international break, we lose
Yeah,
6 games and draw 2 in it.
yeah.
Since the international break. We ain't winning the league in it since then. Since he changed
Yeah.
that. We win a
That
game in it.
did not make no sense. And when we thought, well, all right, he go revert, he didn't revert.
No,
He continued
didn't do
playing
it.
69, and that didn't make no
Exactly.
sense. I say no, yeah, he not lasting long next season
no. No.
because
And
you
that cup-
see
that
how
cup was
effective
unbelievable.
Xerxes was in that position. That was the best player we had
Yep.
because of the position we was playing him in, and you change that. Nah, that's a level of, I don't know why, arrogance or stupidity that
Stubbornness,
I don't
though.
understand.
Stubbornness.
You see, some coaches is coming with an ideal, eh? And this was always my issue with Amorim. But I mean, again, you know, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he knew he learning, that yada yada, right? But you're coming with ideas and you're sticking to the ideas and you're not adapting. Like you're accustomed playing in sporting with your formation with a striker like Gaia Correz. Hoyland perhaps is the closest in the mold. So you're insisting with Hoyland, right? Mount, you seem to like Mount. From the time Mount come back, you push Xerxes out and you put Mount there. You understand? And these are the kind of issues that I've been having with some of the decisions, Amram making. And I want to hope that he don't misprofile players going forward, right? Because
Or you think his job, do you all think it's possible he could get fired?
not this
course.
season,
Not this season. Not this season.
but
But
No,
early next
I'm
season.
talking
early next
about.
season if you do.
So basically, our next Ten Hag win a cup and start off the season bad and get fired.
Yeah. I can see
No,
that.
yeah, no. If we struggle in the league, chef, then it make no sense.
No, because the reason being, Chef, he have you say like how Ten Hag doing his first season, Ten Hag had credit in the bank, right?
Yeah.
Right now, Amram have no credit in the bank, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
You understand?
And
You
we'll
see this
see
kind
if
of
we lose Wednesday.
yeah, especially if you, because watch me, all the grace, all the new manager grace that he had, he don't use up that base dry.
Yeah.
That gone.
So next
Dan,
season, with
Dan,
your
all
transfer window, yeah,
you ever thought in all your lifetime, or you would have watched Manchester United lost 18 games in a league season, right?
Crazy, bro.
So that's I watch you table, and you're watching the win column, and I see in that 18, and I like, my God, boy,
How many games you win in the league this season?
less than 10.
and all the teams we beat was the relegation teams. And we probably got a win against Fulham here. We got a win against this one that there. But
City, you got one against City.
we just really beat the relegation teams.
And we get some joy.
Yeah.
Real embarrassing. Yeah.
No, that
I
was
tell
telling
you,
you. So come next season.
we'd get
I'm really-
relegated a stronger Premier League season. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
because we make the 40. We still
Yeah.
on 39.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
And you know,
No,
I was watching the other day, right? Somebody was doing some research and they were saying some previous seasons teams get relegated on 49, 45,
Yeah.
42,
Yeah.
Yeah.
40. Teams get relegated on that and all, yeah. So
40 has become the bare minimum.
So we have become so
And as-
fortunate that these three teams, Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich, has been so bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because, you know, when we had Ollie, he used to use a word called fine margins. Like what fine margins with the team, like, you know, you say, boy, you know, we have fine margins. I mean, we watch this team, you know, fall apart in the last few years. And even though, you know, you get a new coach, it's like, you just feel like losing, not having a striker up front to score goals really show you how bad the football has been. Because even with Ollie, even though we would play good sometimes, you know, a lot of times we were, you know, losing a game and like hit one goal. How about if, you know, there's so many seasons where we just struggle to win one game. You know, to have a good game one week, but a bad game next week. I mean, you kind of just get away with it. You know, we kind of just move on playing okay football, having good results because we would score goals. You know, and then we get to a point this year, you know, we kept losing top finishers, and the football didn't get any better. You know, we end up to a point where we are right now. I mean, we can't say we didn't see it coming. We just thought we would fix it. It would be fixed before we got to this stage. It's been coming. We've been getting licks, 4-0 here and there, 3-0. We get beat by relegation teams, and we say, "Oh gosh, you know, why?" But there were signs, you know, and we ain't addressed the issues, you know, with this club.
This been coming. I totally agree with you, Simeon.
I mean, things like
this really coming.
I mean, and like players. The thing is, players ain't getting, you know, Harry Maguire scored goals for us, but like half the time, Maguire offside and set pieces on crosses. I mean, it's like, you know, Onana still pounding the ball out to the closest, you know. It's like you keep going back to the same things, and it's like you just wonder when, you know, we go address that. You look at other teams, you know, we talk about recruiting. That bus done leave. That bus done leave the station. I mean, you look at the teams we competing against. When I see Frimpong going, where you going? Liverpool?
Yeah.
That is a player. That's a complete player. And like we can't get complete players here. We get me half the or I could do one thing good, but I can't do the next thing, you know. Yeah, you look at Dogu. That Dogu is a perfect example. It's like the man, you know, strong, the man fast, he got good attitude, but the man doing the not the smartest thing when it come. Yeah, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say about you know, but the man not making the right choice. And it's clear as day what he should do, but the man in his head, something not right up there, and we can.
And it's not here alone, huh?
Yes.
You know what? As Simeon bring up that point, I watch now every season. You all hear. I mean, even on the podcast, even before I was on this, most times at the end of the season, as fans, we will talk about the positions we need to address and stuff, right? All you realize when we do, okay, so we have to address the left back. It is never one of the best left backs we will end up signing. We just always sign Samaritans player.
But Chef, which are the best players want to come Manchester United right now?
Exactly.
And that goes back.
None of the best players want to come to Manchester United.
But think about it, though, Nico. None of the big names want to come, and that's fine. But then it means that our scouting has to be exceptional because, dog, it have good players out there to buy. But we just be, God alone knows where we just be shopping. Like we just be shopping in the freestyle zone. Free zone. That all we just be shopping in. We don't be shopping in Louis Vuitton and them kind of stores.
Nah, we can't afford them things, yeah.
No, but Nico, it's not
even if we can't,
affording. It's not
but even if we can't,
because look at
the scouting.
Prime example.
But if you can't afford Louis Vuitton, go Macy's now. Go Old Navy now. Or you run straight to Rattans, boy.
But chef, let me bring it even more relatable, right? Look at Brighton, right? Brighton.
Look at Brighton.
They get Baleba in midfield. We wouldn't get Baleba in either. We would try to get some big expensive player for $60 billion, or we will go and get Theobald. You understand?
How much Brighton pay for him?
No, Brighton pays more money for him, boy. But the point I'm making, JP, we will either try to go for the most expensive player we know we can't get because we can't afford him, or we will go and get some shit player.
How much?
Player.
How much Liverpool pay for that boy from Argentina, McAllister?
Like 35 or 40.
Yeah, I think
it was around that. And I was like, but how these teams, who is the winning teams, able to pull off these kind of bargain players and the bargain price for really good players, but we paying one set of money for average to okay-ish players?
Because they could guarantee, they have some guarantees.
And Edward Waller, I forget what Edward Waller tells people. The man said,
no, but but they have guarantees. They have guarantees at Champions League. They have guarantees at winning titles. I mean, they have guarantees of playing with high quality players. It have guarantees.
But
a man will drop in salary because he know he's going into a winning team.
But Nico, what I'm saying is
a winning team.
But what I'm saying is, Nico,
then all right, I will come, but you have to pay me before I come into a rubbish team.
But Nico, what I'm saying is that is the player and the agent and thing. But we talk about from team to team. Teams, it's the onus is on a team to get not to get the best price for your player and the selling these players. But when it comes to Manchester United, and again, I really feel it's because of Manchester big mouth back in the day talking that shit that we have money. I feel teams just hold that in mind when they're coming towards people.
No, but the brand, the Manchester United brand is a massive brand. The Manchester United brand, big as Real Madrid and Barcelona.
He's not for that. That's okay.
No, but the brand is big as that.
The brand bigger.
Yeah.
But I think based on what we saw in the last transfer window, I think the efforts are to change that perception. Because we could have gone spend 70-something million on Branthwaite from Everton. We walk away from that. Yeah. So and I think we negotiate with PSG with this Ugarte deal to get something a little more favorable to us. So in those regards, I think we kind of probably moving away from where people trying to take advantage of us and slapping on that Man United tax now. So I all for not spending mad money like the Anthonys and the Hoylands and them kind of stupid money we spend on Casemiro and thing. I am in support of that. But as I said before, the point I was making, let me find the right in-betweens now. Right? Don't let me go from one not getting the one extreme to signing the next extreme. And you're not bringing in any kind of quality for the first team. And we had to be dealing with doggoos. Sorry, Nico, but that's just how I see it. Right? Let me just get some comments here, guys. King on a really pretty on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining. Right? He's saying I taken Bruno as a false 9 in the finals. Leave out how he named.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised earlier. Yeah,
but
yeah, I
Ollie,
agree.
how we win the FA Cup last year?
Yeah,
Right.
it falls with a false nine.
Right. Hoyland
Yeah.
wasn't there. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerome on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good evening to you. He's saying if we lose
Wednesday.
Wednesday and they sack the manager, best them fool the club. Nah, they wouldn't
They
wouldn't
sack the manager.
All right, he's saying leave Rasmus in Manchester. All right, I second that. All right.
Yeah.
Eric Lewis on the inside, good night, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining.
what 72 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most goals he scored in Atalanta, wherever he come from, was what, 10? 10
Yeah,
goals
yeah.
in Italy.
It was 7.
Yeah, that's what, it could be even less. I mean, pay 72 million for a player who scored 10 goals in the Serie A.
Yeah.
And that was his first season, eh? That was his first season. So it's no setup when I say history.
Yeah.
No to prove consistency, nothing.
Like madness.
Jerome saying here, scouting and recruitment. We haven't had a proper system in a decade. Any scout with their salt would have recommended not buying Hoyland for 64 plus 8 or Anthony for 80 plus 5. Don't matter no matter who is our coach. Right? If we don't start recruiting properly, we ain't going anywhere. Fully agreed.
Yeah.
Fully agreed. So all right. I think we did touch on this last point. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I mean, after watching the games today, because I watched the Spurs game and I watched, our game. And I've been watching us for the whole season. And I remember, it had this guy, Arsene Wenger. He was on a program and they asked him about, United and Spurs, making it through the back door, to the Champions League. Right? Based on what we see now, right? Are you leaning toward understanding why Wenger had these issues? Because I mean, I beginning to think that we really being a fan want us to make it to Europe because I know what the money could do for we and wherever. But even Amorim and all allude to it, saying that we do deserve to play in Europe next season. You understand? So if we win, we dare. But are you leaning to see what Wenger was saying? Because again, his point was basically because of how poor Manchester United and Spurs, because we 16th and 17th, we just get away from relegation and all, and we next season going to play, one of us going to play in Champions League, and the most elite. No,
Arsenal, I don't agree with him. Hey, Arsene Wenger could suck my fat. I don't care. No, but I hear what you say. I hear what you say. Boy, I don't care. England is listen to what I can tell you. England is the top league. Right, finish. Sorry, finish.
Because at the end of the day, we're talking about whether you earn. Because the route to make it into European competition is to earn a 3-year place in the domestic competition. We've seen how poor this season Manchester United have been. Right? Even Amorim, and I'll repeat it again for you because I don't know if you heard. Even Amorim said it. He's saying we do not deserve to be in the Champions League, but he understands what it means to the club from a financial point of view and from a prestige point of view. So we will take it. So I'm asking all of you, right? Do you all still see it as though, as a fan, we want to be in Champions League, whether we exit after we first game, or all you perhaps making it not qualifying for Champions League mightn't be a bad thing?
So I have a question to ask, right? So the route to the Europa League is winning a domestic cup, right? So if you win the FA Cup as we did last season, you can make it into Europa League, right? We also know that the championship teams are also in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So if a championship team win the FA Cup, You're saying it is unfair to them to play in the Europa League?
You're missing what I'm saying. The point is, we have been so poor. It's not necessarily
But
which
if
league
that,
you're
if
playing
that
in.
championship team, I just saying what may have been in the Premier League, they might have gotten relegated.
The point I'm making, Nico, is the season that we've had has been very poor. We almost get relegated.
Yeah.
If you look at the
No,
points.
I understand that. I understand that. I totally
So
understand
that's the
that.
point I'm making, not necessarily the root. The reason
Yeah.
why they have an issue is because of how poorly we were this season. And this is where
Okay.
I taken a look at it and I'm saying, well, but you know what, for real, we too poor. We're doing too much
No,
crap.
Yeah, and I understand that.
But-
I guess we
but
could
at
look
the-
at it as well as that.
The fun and we talking, and that's why we got
No,
But we could also say, but we could also
no.
say because this has been, I just saying, right? I just saying, if we look at all the moving parts, right? We could write off this season as an anomaly. Yeah? I just say,
we've been poor for quite some time.
yeah, but to almost get relegated, I feel
But
almost get
it was-
relegated
if
taking everything.
If you watch the league finishes over the past couple of years, we've our trajectory have been down, you know.
Yeah, but this one was like exponentially down, boy. You couldn't.
Guys, just so it is-
Nobody.
Guys, this was coming. This was coming. But let me make my point. My thing is,
what's saying as well. We rebuilding. So Jim coming. We see better recruitment happening. We seeing things maybe changing. Then maybe we could see this as an anomaly season, and hopefully next season they get things right in the preseason, and we improve and we look good in the Champions League. There's a possibility of that as well. But I understand the point. But I could also look at it as an anomaly season for us.
but I can't.
Could be better.
But I can't. Here's why I can't be done with that. Why it is all of a sudden you have a problem with it. The rules has always bring your talk. Let me talk now. You talk. Right. The rules has always been you win FA Cup, you make it into you could make it into Europa. The winner of Europa could make it into Champions League, regardless of what you do in your league. Because let me tell you something. Them Spanish teams, what has been winning Europa, doesn't mean saying one ass in Spain, you know. Betis and all of them. Them doesn't mean saying nothing in Spain. Them just had to pray to make Europa to fund the clubs. So all of a sudden now, yes, we could admit Manchester was poor. And by rights you could say, oh, they don't deserve to be in Champions League. But here's what, even if you don't deserve to be in Champions League, Manchester or Tottenham doing what they're supposed to do to make it to Champions League. It mightn't be through the league form, but they're in a cup and they're the second highest cup in the football in Europe. So you can't take it away from a team because listen, there's often say playing in Europa is even tougher than playing in Champions League because of the places you have to go and the teams and all kind of things. So yes, you could say okay, Ole wasn't being bad, but as Nico rightfully say, it's an anomaly, you know. So you can't come now and say, hey, Ole was so bad this season, Ole shouldn't make it. No. Paul, is that the rules has always been there. And you had to know that it might have been a season that a team a team from England, and I'll underline England, because the Spanish teams and them doesn't be doing good, but they just go straight to the finals of Europa. So it can't be a rule for Spain and a rule for England. It don't work so.
Right. So
I have a question. Go ahead.
I just want to. I'm not challenging the rules. Don't get what I'm saying wrong. Right. What I'm saying is, if you're kind of seeing what he's saying or why he made the point, because the team.
No, he's biased.
So, yeah, he biased.
He is biased.
And I understand where Chef's coming from.
He is biased.
And I have a question after him.
It's not Wenger alone make the point.
Who is the other person make that point? I want to call the name. Call him. Let me see if you can remember.
No, but while we figure it out.
Just now. I want to figure it out.
Why
Hear this, the other man who made that point actually is a former Arsenal player too. So go ahead. Remember, we gonna come back to that. Go ahead, Nico.
But what I'm saying is this: do we deserve, in terms of Europa League form, we talking about, right? Do we deserve to be in the final of the Europa League? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If we were one of the best teams in Europa League, let me judge it on the Europa League form, because as Chef rightfully said, right? If you win the Europa League, you can get into the Champions League. So now you have an opportunity to say, here what? We're going to use the Europa League to get into the Champions League. The league form will take a hit, but here what? We taking a hit in the league because we want to win the Europa League. So then now you had a judgment on my Europa League form, and maybe not my league form. If you understand what I'm saying, if I'm making sense.
Yeah. Well, remember, there was a season when Portsmouth got relegated and they won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And they play in the Europa League from Championship.
Yeah.
I understand from the outside perspective, I could understand why people suffering with the bottle tonight. Because they find two teams not performing well, but as Nico said, at the end of the day, the two teams that reached the final had to win the games and be unbeaten in the competition.
Guys, I want to know. You could fight me down. You could fight me down and tell me I shit in my league and I'd accept that. But how you could watch me as the unbeaten team in Europe, Dog are unbeaten in Europe, And you want to tell me if I win this cup, I don't deserve Champions League because of how bad I've been in the league. And to add to what Nico said there just now, really and truly, Manchester didn't prioritize Europa till the last couple of games. There was fighting and all. And when they realized we reached a stage in the league where we can't go up and we can't go down, that is when Manchester, you started hearing talk, hey, we're going for Europa alone because that is our way to get into Champions League.
How come they didn't have a problem when we made Europa League? Because we didn't deserve Europa. We didn't deserve Europa League either because we didn't finish in a Europa League spot last season. We won the FA Cup to get into the Europa League. How come it wasn't an issue then? My thing with this is people finding problems now when the root was always there.
It was always there.
They didn't know it.
No.
This was always there. So I find for people to be coming out and saying what they're saying, there's not just fans who ranting on the fan channels because it's a fan channel and they're ranting. This is people in positions like Arsene Wenger who like working with FIFA and UEFA and things to make rules for the games and things like that.
And he working for UEFA.
So for him,
he have a big position in UEFA.
I find as a responsible statement for somebody like him because there's a clear route to it. And winning the competition is a route. It have nothing, it don't correlate to where you finish in your league and while you're in the competition.
One have nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
one have nothing to do with the other. None. So that's what I'm trying to tell Reem. It's no that one to inside here, we just talk the thing. It's no fan thing and we just being biased. We just talk the thing.
Yeah, but I think I'm missing.
Let me say. I mean, the kind of football we play this season was so revolting, so frustrating. I mean, we talk about every single week. It's so just insulting to the whole, not just. I can see where they're coming from. I mean, I don't agree with it. I mean, I will cry for them if we win and we go. I'll be jumping up everybody else, but at the same time, you as a fan watching this team, we as the fan watching board Arsene Wenger, we know this team is real shit. We know we can turn up. At the right moment we can turn up, but we know that it ain't no regular, in the morning, poop. We as the kind of shit we played this season, it barely for championship. We really no. Look at our strike. Look the striker we had. All the nonsense that happened with this team between the Rashford and the Rashford is Rashford, Sancho. We've been a complete mess. And you look at we went all around the block and come back to Maguire to save us. I think now we forget. I don't forget, but like we did some shit this season that
Oh, we could forget.
Yeah, it's like football wise, the eye test wise. If you see that, you ain't gonna forget that, And
Of course not.
for us to be in Champions League might seem insulting. And it's insulting, but we still go in. But we still go in.
But the fact of the matter is, and this is to show you, let me show you how that Arsene Wenger thing don't even hold water, right? We have been shit in the league, right? Yeah, everybody could admit we have been terrible. According to everybody, Lord watching us is IE. But hear this, on a Thursday, when the world see Manchester United, everybody turning up to watch our game, right? The viewership in Europa does go up through the roof when Manchester United with the shitty self there, right?
Yeah.
Man, you can't tell me I don't deserve. We could be the world of shit. And Iceman does always say, Champions League, you don't deserve it. You just earn it. Dan, if we win Europa, we earning it.
Yeah.
I don't
think it was an easy route either to get. I think
it wasn't. It wasn't.
Was the harder route, even compared to Spurs, to reach the final. So,
All right.
Based on that,
Yeah.
I think based on the Europa League form, we deserve to be in the Champions League because Sevilla and them used to, as Chef said, Sevilla and them used to do it year after year after, coming 10th, 11th, 12th, all down there.
Yeah.
And you never hear a word.
You never hear
and mind you, the winning Europa to get into Champions League, right? And what's going to happen? The ass game knockout first round back into Europa to win it again. So don't come to tell me no shit now. But F off with Wenger. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And I'm very serious about that. Wenger could suck my fat. I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
The way it really matters too.
Empires, come on, man.
You should only 7 Champions League.
You come on.
Europa League.
Yeah. Look, go your way.
We got some comments, fellas.
As Arsene Wenger could talk to me with his stupid self, but go so, eh?
Kristen on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying you shited as they're calling us, right? Leon Batiste on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying, I wonder who Sancho was cheering for. Right. Kristen saying here, we make Chelsea get Conference League last season when we qualified for Europa. Supposed to make them get Europa this season instead of Champions League. Right, but we were supposed to beat them today or not let them get that full 3 points. Right?
Yeah, there wasn't supposed to get that.
I guess now you say it.
Leon saying here we need to be in Champions League to recruit better players. I don't think so.
No, we don't. I don't agree with that statement at all.
Yeah. Jerome saying here we could do with a year out of Europe to get our house in order tactically. 1 game a week.
We've been on this podcast, we've been saying that for years.
All right.
But
years.
But as I said, Europe better with Manchester United in it. And the Champions League will be better for Manchester United in it.
It is. So that is why I really will admit I was wrong to say our brand not big, as our team might be as shit, but our brand. So you just hear commentators saying the Champions League need Manchester United in it. But you trying? He only vexed. They don't say we need Arsenal in it. Nobody don't want to see Arsenal. By God, so nobody don't want to see all you. Nobody don't want to see the Gunners. Gunners what? Bias ass. I can't stand him.
Eric, serious question must be asked about Amorim regardless if we win the Europa.
Of course.
Right? We have
of course. Of
16 and
course.
any in-game tactical changes to improve us, right?
Yeah.
Jadon Belmont
Just-
on the inside. Yeah, go ahead, Chef.
No, I was about to say just what you all said. All his credit, all his new manager credit, he used it up already, you know.
Yeah,
So
agile,
that
agile.
and that's why I asked Sonia if only think he can get fired if he win Europa, you know, because it's quite possible he can still get fired, eh? But I know they probably won't because they're bringing
But-
and the argument could be well he get players to do something. But oh my God, we've been deplorable, boy. Jeez.
But chef, all them. My thing with Amarim is he don't have the new coach excuse, but also he don't have like, given what's happened the last, not just Ten Hag, but all you like. We so deep in any nonsense. Like we don't have that excuse. Oh, my players were injured. Oh, I can't get ready. I can't get rid of these players. He has to this summer. He has to. We can't wait for the Glazers or Ineos. He have to. I mean, this summer he has to get right. He knows it.
Yep.
He can't be no excuses. Oh,
Yeah.
contract.
It's
The
not him, it's
contract.
not-
We
it's not
can't
on
do
him
that
alone, eh?
contract. No, he have to
It's
win
not
now.
him. No, but what's saying is it's not on him alone. He had to get him
Nope.
back in. He had to get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, but
This-
he got fired.
but this off season, you see that point Reem now make there? I think we taking that point lighter. This off season coming here will be a window into Ineos and them, because them now come and them in making right moves so far. So this off season, them have to get it right,
Yeah.
Have to.
Have to.
Hey, side note. Somebody in the comments, give me the score in basketball. Let me see if New York will not burn down tonight.
Let me just,
Listen.
as we on it, let me just get the rest of comments, right? Jadon Belmont, the inside, good night. Thanks for joining, man.
Good night.
So ideally, not qualifying for Champions League will be good for player development, and most players on the team and Champions League level players, or even Premier League level, right? That's a good point, right? Jerome saying here, our XG for the past couple months has meant we should have won games, not drawn or lost them. The problem is playing staff, especially at the front and back, right?
Then if we being real, the last 2 months, the game we have not been winning. But then 10 games we should not been losing either,
Yeah.
If we could be fair and say, God, we've been trash all season. But then when you watch how we lose games,
And
it's
that's your boy,
because
Rasmus.
and then
clear chances this season.
Ganacho, I know
Ganacho
answer that
20 plus goals easy.
between Ganacho, Rasmus, and T-Rex in the back. Listen to me.
I didn't even know we should check Rasmus in that. We should check
Let's
Rasmus
see.
in that. I don't
Let's
think
see.
Rasmus get things. Do you know what I mean?
He
He wasn't there. He was absent. Yeah, he was absent. So I didn't even check. You can check Ganacho and you can check Onana.
Ganacho,
Onana get a ball today and parry the ball
Many penalties.
Man, God, boy, Jesus.
Oh yeah, the one where you didn't think it was a penalty for a while too.
Yes.
First, I don't trust Onana. I don't say penalty,
I find that was too comical, boy. I said, nah,
So,
that's too comical to be a penalty, boy.
what Onana doing there? What Onana doing? From the time I see Onana start to rush out, I do so want to.
Yeah, because the player was moving away from the goal. I don't know what Onana was doing quite all day.
That is exactly Reem. Exactly, the man was going away.
And go on to run.
Yeah. Jerome saying here, you can't expect a man to bake a cake without eggs. How are we expecting a coach to win games without a striker or goalie? Right.
People eat eggless cake,
It's an eggless cake, sir, pal. It's an eggless cake, sir. He's more upon that.
So he could have make a cake without egg. Oh, that could have be somewhere.
Dan and always saying
You've eaten.
that.
You've eaten.
All we're saying is, yes, he didn't have the tools to win the league. We didn't expect him to win the league. But I am of the firm belief it had enough players inside Manchester United senior team to under 19 team that we should have performed better. That's all I say.
The tools is not 16. Them tools we have is not 16.
Nah, them tools is not 16. Nah, you can't convince me otherwise. Sorry. I ain't taking that one.
All right. Kristen saying here, let's be real. The only way to the Champions League was through the top 4 in the league. They changed the rules when Chelsea won the Champions League and came 6th. Because you couldn't have a Champions League without the current, you couldn't have a Champions League without the current champion. So they made it the winner to qualify for the competition. So the winner of the Europa should automatically qualify for Europa, not Champions League, if they didn't qualify through the league. However, the rules say winner of Europa League qualifies for the Champions League. All right. It could be real funny if we qualify and win the Champions League. All right, Kristen. Right?
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something. Eh? The next time if that happens, I'm gonna make TV6 news, you know, because I'm walking on the highway in Madras, you know.
No, that's
possible.
No, that's possible. No, that's possible with this team. We might get relegated.
Not only that. But the reason why it's very possible is the format of the Champions League change. Which makes it easier for anybody to win that, you know. They used to lock out teams with Manchester
United win Champions League next season after all that shit. Man, I walking in the middle of highway with my spandex drawers and my Manchester flag around and my Manchester flag around my head. You can't talk to me. I don't care. Lock me up, yes.
That's possible. That's possible.
He also said here, I remember Denmark in the 90s didn't even qualify for Euros. It had war and they banned Yugoslavia and then get an entrant went on to win it. Yeah. Chef, you Champions League team not going to
Europa new format.
Okay.
New format, nice.
Yeah. Keon Paul on the inside.
The new format. Sorry, the new format where Champions League team not.
The team not dropping down to Europa.
Yeah. That changed.
All right, Kristen, we got
we know that. We know that.
Keon on the inside is saying, we winning it next week, Wednesday, fellas, and we'll cleanse the team in the summer.
Yeah, we hope
right?
so.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
How long we talking about cleansing, right? How long we talking about?
This one could be the right cleanse. This one could be the cleanse, right?
All that purge, I will disappear just now. All that purge, right?
All we need clean.
All that purge. I had the best colon ever. Jeez.
Yeah.
Right. Good night, man.
Yeah. Jerome saying here, if Ineos don't back Ruben this summer, then forget it. Recruitment is necessary. Facts.
Yeah.
Right. If they don't back him, then forget it. Right. Chef, Knicks up 9-51.
What? Jesus Christ. No. There is absolutely no more annoying fan in this world than a New York Knicks fan, you know. I don't know if all you know that, you know. New York Knicks fans is the single most annoying fan in sports, you know.
They are the Arsenal of the basketball world.
Dog, the worst. Half my family live in New York. And as years upon years, I shitting them about backing that. And listen, you can't tell them about Knicks, eh? The team is garbage. But they just go down with the team, and them coming and beating Boston to make it to the finals. I wish Pacers watched them.
Hey, Chef, that's my team.
Pacers?
Yep.
You serious?
Yeah.
Since when? Pacers have fans?
Nah, I live in it. That's where I live, man, Indiana.
Oh, you live in Indiana? Oh,
yeah.
Nah. I don't mind. I actually like Pacers. Pacers are a nice little team.
I remember Reggie
Miller.
These are Reggie Miller and them. I didn't like Hina. God,
nobody would like Reggie. Nobody
Yeah,
didn't like
Reggie was
Reggie.
bad,
He was bad.
He was
Trees.
bad.
Reggie
but
was
he
He was
bad.
bad. He was bad. He was bad. But
Reggie trash talking make real people don't like you. But he was bad. He was Curry before he had a Curry.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
good on defense too.
Phil on the inside. Thanks for joining, Phil.
Me
Um,
Phil.
Oh, Phil. Where Phil? What country in?
Canada, Toronto.
Oh, you home? Oh, you home. Oh, thought he had some.
Keep sell or loan Hoyland.
Nobody
Next.
buying him.
What?
Next.
I'd win Phil. I'd given Phil the.
Right? 9 weeks without a win in the Premier League, right? Kerry on the inside.
Oh God. This
Right?
buller.
Um,
Thank you. Hey, but big up to you for that dream. Well done. You're learning. Well done. Next.
Jeremy saying, I don't eat eggless, right? Fake cake. Tried Cheeto hasn't worked. We need to buy strikers for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
for real.
Yeah, no, we need strikers. If I know two is about it.
Yeah. Phil saying here, lucky for you, my friend. I in a good.
I'm a good spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a good spirit.
Last thing before we go, right?
Yeah.
We're looking ahead to Wednesday. Team sheet.
Oh Lord.
Team sheet. Your starting 11 and score prediction. We done. Nico,
I guess
start
that. Onana, I really hoping Euro come back. Euro, Maguire, and Mazwari in the back. You know, I really hoping at the back three. In the midfield, I'm going with Casemiro, Ugarte, Dogu on the left, and Ahmad on the right. Wing back. My tens is Bruno, and I'm starting back Garnacho. And unfortunately, God, this one harder. But
Mount.
I haven't thought about that yet. So if I think about it, it might really be a Mount, but I'll go with Hoyland for now.
No, I
Maybe
don't
Hoyland might
know.
jump on the final, but that might team there.
Yeah. I will go one time because I go with everything Nico say except on top. I trying something different. I playing Kobe and Mount behind Bruno. Bruno false 9.
Yeah.
I go in with everything. Well, them two fellas say before me, except for on top, I just don't want to see that goat on top. Anybody else but you, please. Anybody else.
Use a different term now, Chef. Good. Just make me feel he good.
Anybody else but that shit snake on top. Anybody else. I for either you see exactly what JP now say with the false 9 and Bruno, but Bruno is more creativity, man. So I prefer Mount. Let Mount play.
Yeah, I think I would chef on that. Mount on top and everything else.
Yeah. See.
But what I should have trained Nico is, we go with players that are available now, right? Which means you're not available.
But how we know you're not available?
No, now saying we go with based on what we know. Based on what we know.
I don't know, but he was training. I saw him training in Indo.
He was training.
Yeah.
I know Dalo was training separately. I didn't know Euro was training separately.
Euro was Indo training session.
Okay.
To start him in our finals, boy, straight from injury.
Of course.
Like
starting him. One of your best players. That one of your best players in Europe.
I don't disagree.
That alternatives there.
No, I don't disagree with all you. That alternative and nothing is the same thing.
Right.
Simeon, any different? No.
Controversially, I would not. I mean, I'm trying to see who I played at the right wing back, but I'm not convinced I want to start both Ahmad and Garnacho because we also want somebody else on the bench come on second half. So I'd rather have Ahmad come on. I mean, given what I saw today, I'd rather have Ahmad come on later on. That's my only thing. But issue is the back five. So I mean, patchwork really in the back five. That's my only issue. But I'd rather have Ahmad come on, especially the Ahmad that defensively hasn't really been as good as I want it to be. But he might have to play to start. So I'll go with that. I mean, up front, yeah. I mean, Rasmus shouldn't start that game. Either Mount or Bruno could go up top. But my only issue is who do we have off the bench that can make an impact on the game?
Yeah, to an extent, the bench bearable in terms of game
That will
changers.
be a tactical decision and a good one to have.
Garnacho on the bench, right? I say Garnacho is the impact player because if he come on to run at men later in the game, right? That's why we're on the bench.
Yeah, Kobe.
But you see, Kobe don't run at men. So,
Yeah.
so that's why Garnacho is starting Garnacho go higher running. Garnacho does have your running. So when you have Ahmad coming on, even Meno coming on, them call a tired men. It's a good call. It's a good call with Ahmad, but I don't know. Let me see.
I feel we need Ahmad from his start because
it could go anyhow.
It's a final. It's a finals. I want.
It's a final. The way best players started.
It's a finals. I want my best players.
But how you find Ahmad look today? I know he was higher up, but how you find he look?
Ahmad was decent. Yeah. I don't find Ahmad wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, he looked better than the West Ham game.
Than the West Ham game, yeah. His decision.
Yeah, I agree.
At the right time, he was shooting at the right time.
Ahmad was real unlucky.
And he played
a couple losses.
Yeah, and he played against a few better players as well.
Yeah.
So he wasn't that.
I was mad with Ahmad today too.
And one more thing, like, does Tottenham still play that high line?
Of course.
I see Spurs player kind of sit back and counter today.
They didn't have the players to play that.
Like lousy dress rehearsal for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the
they sit back to them. They sit back to them.
We're very easy to beat on the break.
Exactly.
They sit back to them. But Villa in that team to sit back on right now. Not any form Villa.
No, but even the counters, Nico, even though it didn't come off, it was looking good. They were holding on to the ball and they were transitioning pretty well.
So, Son was just shit. Son was just off.
So Son was looking good, though. I can't say
He failed bad in that game.
Not by Son standards. He wasn't able to play by his standards,
I thought he was injured and I didn't realize he fit enough to play.
But
so that means he's starting.
Yeah, no, but you see what where's that?
Solanke, he fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Solanke playing in the final. He's scoring.
He's a scorer right now.
Solanke putting in it, right? I don't know. I just this the saying it's only Spurs. I not seen it like that. I think this.
I definitely.
It's a final. We can't.
Anybody else? Anybody else? First.
Yeah, I hear.
Not for a team that beaten me whole season.
I hear Amram say something in one of the interviews. I think it was with BBC that had my little concern. He says Spurs will not change. We know how they play. I don't know how much you all see it. And I thought it was a real weird comment to make, right? Especially, unless it's a mind game, it could also be a mind thing,
It could, but they have been, but Spurs manager is as stubborn as Amarim to it, and he is
different today. They play different today. They're telling you.
Yeah.
And one of our problems is trying to break down a low block and we
Yeah.
we easy to get transitioned on.
Very easy. Very easy.
You understand? Remember, it's about winning a trophy now, Chef,
Yeah.
it's not about 3 points, and it's about winning a trophy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're doing what you need to do.
Good job. His job on the line for this one, because I don't think
Yeah.
if he
Now he dogs that if he dogs that if he lost this, he getting fired for sure.
for this one.
And the thing about it, the team that get licks from Villa was a heavily rotated team. We play with
Yeah.
a strong team, more or less, and we get beat. All right. So I just say it. There's a plenty of context to this that we can't ignore. All right.
Yeah.
Let me just get these comments and let me wrap it up, guys. Phil saying here, Mountain Top, Bon Hoyland, right? He was
Agreed.
saying, a sheep. Jeremy saying Heaven will play better than Lindelof.
Heaven look shaky today, boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first game in how long, boy, and then he now come back.
Yeah.
So, you really
So you need a little time. You need a little time.
them fellas-
I see
them
that
fellas-
before.
Lindelof wasn't
them
that
fellas-
bad today, to be honest. Lindelof wasn't that bad today.
Them fellas are not go get game in that post-season, post-tour thing. Heaven and them go play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Christian saying here, all of this is the season for the underdogs. Newcastle win a trophy after 70 years. Bologna win after 50. Christian, if this way going, I will know this comment.
Kane when he first trophy. The
Crystal
Crystal
Palace
Palace gonna do the same.
But watch now, Man United cannot let. You know what? Don't go through that now. Don't go through that. Let me know have a kind of negative kind of.
Kristen write that whole long thesis to talk that piece of shit. Let me get 2 other good comments to end the night. And nonsense, Kristen wants to tell you this already night.
Phil saying here, play Maguire on top. All right, Jody on the inside. Have a good night.
Oh, Jody.
Jody comment for Jersey on?
Hey, Jody, we have to get here.
Yeah, from a
we
free
have to
Polari.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Make sure them Polari fry up, Right?
You understand?
And don't play a game, 3 and no, and what is called the kind of paper.
Greaseproof paper.
Don't play a game, 3 no greaseproof paper, Jody. What bad dog, right? Saying Ahmad coming on into a bad idea. Well said, Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Jerome saying here, Ahmad looked rusty. He didn't want to run at
Coco Puff.
Hey, no, watch me. Cucurella had a real good game today. I think he was the man of the match.
You can't just run like Cucurella.
Yeah.
No, Cucurella. Dog, you might like Cucurella, but Cucurella is one of Chelsea's best players.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he's one of Spain's best players too.
Exactly.
I can't stand him. I find he's a big fruit. I find he's sugary bad. But the man is a player. No, he's sugary bad. He's sugary bad.
Effective.
No, the man was one of
He's very effective.
Chelsea today.
Yeah,
Up
for
and
sure.
down, the man getting back.
Yeah. He was good.
Simeon, it have plenty black people in Indiana. You know, you're the first person I know living in Indiana. I know so much people in the States. I know nobody in Indiana. It have plenty black people in Indiana.
Just mostly the Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Which is the main city itself, right?
yeah, there's some Trinis up here too.
You see, right? Chinese everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. All right.
Okay, cool.
Jody saying here, clash of the sit back on Wednesday.
That is so true. It's gonna be really a clash of who could counter quicker.
Jerome say I feel start gonna try and sub in Ahmad. All right.
That's probably gonna be it. And I know late sub either 60th, 55th, 60th.
Yeah, Eric saying here, I just hope we do what we're good at, so sit back and counter attack against that high line. Don't play out from the back foolishly. And
That's the
no Onana mistakes. Here now. God boy.
You asking for plenty.
June, you're asking for plenty there, boy. Oh, Lord. Look, God watching you right now and saying, is that joke or?
No, but I mean, if it's one time, just do it once now. Just do it once. All we're asking for, just do it once.
And I just going out brace in the final.
That's to let you know.
What?
But
That's just going to brace in the final.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
reason
gonna,
you-
if,
I take watch me. I taking a Hoyland hat trick too, and he's still getting
if
sent.
Ganacho score a brace, we lost in 4-3.
Oh,
Hey,
chef,
nah, Chef, don't do it like that. Chef, you know, talk about that negative.
not negative vibes, brother.
Eh?
All right. RA was trying to chain up Ange. Who's that? Oh,
Ruben
Amarin.
Amarin.
Right. Yeah,
Amarin.
that was
Ruben Amarin, yeah.
Jody saying here, boy, is more than winning a trophies about Champions League.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but Jody saying pass through and he's saying
Aye, aye.
that question is a dozen, right? Nice. And he had a full thing there. Right. And then Phil saying here,
I'm not eating flour, but I'm coming for that pillory.
right. And he's saying Trinidad's in Toronto and can't bring up
Bring me a punching up till now.
Anyway, fellas, I think even after a disaster of a performance and a disaster of a result, you know, we could still come here and you know have a nice little, you know, distress and have a nice little conversation. It get heated, it cool down, we laugh, you know.
That's a normal thing.
What let's say about a watch along Wednesday? Are you for that one?
Nah, I wouldn't be.
I go be drinking rum, partner.
All right, then. Well, then we in the evening. We in the evening then. Right.
I can't watch Manchester. I actually venturing out. Have I watched any games? I think I must watch maybe 2 games for the entire season out of my house. I actually go down and watch it in a finals out of my house. I think I could be sober, no?
Nah, I don't watch that. I watching that by myself, but I can't go nowhere and hear people talking stupidness while I'm watching that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watching that game here. Anyway, so we gonna be here again on Wednesday, guys, to celebrate, you know, the Europa League champions, Manchester United. Please.
2025.
Cheese and ages. Well, you know how much we need this. How much I need this, right? I ain't getting
No.
I ain't getting
We need this. We need this. Nah, boy, this season was too much, boy. Oh, God,
yeah,
nah.
you know. So anyway, so guys, we hope to have a real good viewing on Wednesday. Win, lose or win, draw or win, win. Right? Right. Yeah, so we will be here, fellas. So Nico, JP, Chef, and Simeon. Have a good night, guys. See you on the next one.
Hey, good night.